Tom Mitchell was driving home through the summer rain when he saw her, a young woman slumped in a wheelchair on the side of the highway, completely soaked and motionless. He pulled over immediately, his heart racing. She looked about 25 years old with long blonde hair, plastered to her face, her blue dress drenched. Tom rushed out into the downpour. "Missy, you okay?" he called out. She didn't respond. When he got closer, he saw she was breathing, but unconscious. Without hesitation, Tom lifted her gently from the wheelchair, folded it quickly, and got both into his truck. He drove straight to the hospital, his mind spinning with questions. Who was she, and why was she abandoned there like that? At the emergency room, they stabilized her. The doctor said she was severely dehydrated and exhausted, but would recover. Tom stayed. He couldn't just leave. When she finally opened her eyes hours later, confusion filled her face. "Where am I?" she whispered. "You're safe," Tom said softly, sitting beside her bed. "I found you on Highway 12 in the rain." Her eyes filled with tears. "I'm Emma," she said quietly. "My stepmother left me there." Tom felt anger rise in his chest, but kept his voice calm. Why would she do that? Emma looked away ashamed. "After my parents died in a car accident 2 years ago, I went to live with my father's second wife. The accident left me paralyzed from the waist down. She tolerated me at first, but after she got my inheritance, she said I was a burden. Yesterday she drove me out there and just left." Tom's hands clenched into fists. "That's cruel and it's illegal. We need to report this." Emma shook her head, tears streaming down. "I have nowhere to go and no one to help me. Please don't make this worse." Something in Tom's heart shifted. He thought of his own daughter, Sarah, who was away at college. He thought of how he'd want someone to help her if she were ever in trouble. "You're not alone anymore," he said firmly. "You'll stay with me until we figure this out." Emma stared at him in disbelief. "You don't even know me." "I know enough," Tom said. "I know you've been hurt and abandoned, and I know that's not right." Over the following weeks, Emma stayed in Tom's guest room. He converted the bathroom for wheelchair access and made sure she had everything she needed. At first, Emma was quiet and withdrawn, but slowly she began to open up. Tom learned she had been studying art before the accident. He bought her supplies, and she started painting again. Her face would light up when she worked, and Tom felt a deep satisfaction seeing her smile. One evening, as they ate dinner together, Emma looked at him seriously. "Why are you doing all this?" she asked. "You could have just dropped me at the hospital and left." Tom set down his fork. "When my wife died 8 years ago, I was lost," he said. "Sarah was only 14, and I didn't know how I'd raise her alone. But people helped us. Our neighbors brought meals, my sister helped with school runs. Kindness saved us. I'm just passing it forward." Emma's eyes welled up. "I don't know how to thank you." "You don't need to," Tom smiled. "Just keep painting and keep moving forward." Meanwhile, Tom had contacted a lawyer about Emma's situation. They discovered that her stepmother had indeed stolen Emma's inheritance and committed elder abuse and abandonment. The lawyer was confident they could recover the money and press charges. But something else came to light during the investigation, something that made Tom's blood run cold. The lawyer called him one afternoon, his voice tense. "Tom, you need to sit down for this. The car accident that killed Emma's parents and left her paralyzed, it wasn't investigated properly. New evidence suggests the brakes were tampered with." Tom felt sick. "Are you saying someone tried to kill them?" The lawyer continued. "Emma's father had a life insurance policy worth over $1 million. His wife was the beneficiary. She also took control of Emma's trust fund as guardian." Tom hung up and sat in stunned silence. Emma's stepmother hadn't just abandoned her. She had likely murdered Emma's father and possibly her mother too. And Emma was supposed to die in that accident. When Emma survived paralyzed and dependent, the stepmother kept her around long enough to gain full legal control of the money. Then she discarded her. Tom knew he had to tell Emma, but he wanted to protect her too. That evening, he sat beside her in the living room. "Emma, I need to tell you something about your accident." He began gently. Emma's paintbrush froze mid-stroke. "What about it?" Tom explained everything: the investigation, the tampering, the insurance money. With each word, Emma's face grew paler. "She tried to kill me," Emma whispered. "She killed my parents and tried to kill me." Tom moved closer, taking her hand. "We're going to make sure she faces justice. And you're to get your life back." The trial took months. Emma had to testify, which was painful, but Tom was there every day in the courtroom. Her stepmother was found guilty of murder, attempted murder, fraud, and abandonment. She was sentenced to life in prison. Emma's inheritance was restored along with substantial damages. But more importantly, Emma had found something she thought she'd lost forever: hope. A year after that rainy day on the highway, Emma had her own accessible apartment filled with her artwork. She had started teaching art classes to other people with disabilities. Tom visited often, and Emma had become like a second daughter to him. Sarah adored her too. One evening, Emma invited Tom to her first gallery showing. He stood among the crowd looking at her paintings, scenes of rain and roads and new beginnings. Emma wheeled up beside him. "There's someone I want you to meet," she said, smiling. She introduced him to a young man named David who worked at the community center where she taught. They'd been dating for 2 months. Tom felt a swell of pride. "You've come so far," he said. Emma took his hand. "Because you saw me when I was invisible. You saved my life, Tom. Not just that day on the highway, but every day after. You showed me I still mattered." Tom's eyes grew misty. "You always mattered, Emma. I just helped you remember." As he drove home that night through light rain, Tom thought about how one decision to pull over had changed 2 lives. He'd gained a daughter, and Emma had gained a future. Sometimes kindness is just stopping when everyone else drives by. Sometimes it's staying when leaving would be easier. And sometimes one person's compassion can rewrite someone's entire story. That's what Tom believed. And that's what he'd proven true. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories about the power of kindness and human connection. Leave a comment below about a time someone showed you unexpected compassion. Your story might inspire someone else today. Retry Claude can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.